Our guest today is a proof that joy is a serious business. From Deloitte to daring, from cinema trays to premium aisles, from India to 10 plus countries, 4700 BC didn't just start a company, it started a category. Chirag Gupta is a builder of brands, culture, of memories shared over snacks. He's an entrepreneur driven by curiosity, a marathon runner who knows the power of endurance, and a Formula One enthusiast who thrives on precision and pace. But beyond the boardrooms and the finish lines, he's also a father whose world quietly resets every time his daughter Aura smiles. It's that balance between drive and devotion, speed and stillness that makes his journey so human. So, Chirag, welcome. Today, we talk about the human behind the hustle, the truth behind the popcorn, and the heart behind the brand. So, welcome.
So thank you, Ekta, for having me here. I'll try to make it as informative as possible. But really excited to be here.
We're going to have a lot of fun. Alrighty, so we're going to get started. Tell me, who was Chirag before 4700 BC, before the title, before the brand? What kind of a person were you when you were growing up?
So, I think if I look back to the time, right, I think I was really not sure what I wanted to do when I was growing up, right? I think tech was obviously one thing which got me excited. I was a good coder, right? So
Mhm.
I was doing a lot of coding kind of stuff in my bachelor's. I did my bachelor's in computer science, then I went for master's in computer science. In between, I did some work with Infosys again, which is hardcore tech. So I was really into tech, right? And a really good coder, debugger at my time. But I think I took every challenge which came along my way, and I just did it full heartedly. I think that's what I can see looking back now, right? So I think that's what I would see. When this idea of doing popcorns came to our mind, gourmet popcorns came to our mind. I think we just loved the idea and we just started doing it, right? Without thinking
Mhm.
whether it will fail, whether it will succeed. I think we just gave it our best shot, right? And it just happened, right? And I think we are still giving the same shot to make it even more successful, right? And I think we are at it. I don't think I have any particular quality which, got me into food or love for food. I think it's just a good idea, good gap in the market which we found, and I think we just stick to it, right? And that's where we are. I think building any category in India, it doesn't happen
Yeah.
overnight, right? And it
Mm.
just requires patience and time for that category to develop. And
Yeah.
I think that's what 47 BC has been doing so far.
All right, perfect. So tell me, were you always drawn to entrepreneurship, or was there a moment, a spark that made you feel that you want to build something of your own?
So I think I keep telling this. I think I was working with Deloitte. I was working for around 6 years with Deloitte in US, and I think maybe the blood in my father was a businessman. Maybe the blood is coming from there. But
Yeah.
I always have this feeling. Why are we working 12 hours for somebody else? Even if we
And we can do it for
eight,
ourselves.
eight, eight, 8, 10 hours for ourselves, I think we can figure it out something better for ourselves,
Mm.
right? So I think that was just a kick, which was always there in my mind that if we do so much hard work for something of our own, we can definitely succeed, right? And I think that was the
Yeah.
idea. And while I was moving back from US to India just for good, I just took a sabbatical from work. Let's figure out if we can do something of our own. Let's give that time to do figure out something, right? And I think that's where this idea clicked and we started, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I would just say I think back of the mind just there was a kick to do something of our own and spend so much time and energy for somebody else.
Perfect. Now, when you're thinking, do you recall that exact day or a moment when the idea of popcorn first struck you, and what did it make you feel?
So yeah, I mean, see, while I was in India, right, we were kind of brainstorming a lot of ideas with my friend circle, right? And I was coming from more of a consulting tech background, right? I was thinking more on the services line, right? We would figure out if there's consulting opportunity we can do, or if there's a product we can make around tech in India, right? And I was meeting a lot of friends, and suddenly my wife asked one day, like, can we have the same popcorns we used to have it in Chicago, right? And Chicago has one of the biggest, oldest brands of the world right now, which is Garrett's Popcorn,
Hmm.
which is one of the best popcorns in the world, right? And she just asked for it very casually. And what we did was just started searching where we can get the product in India, right?
Hmm.
And we started we started googling, and we found there's some people who are claiming to do something similar but realize it's not even remotely close to what we have seen in US,
Hmm.
right? फिर हमने एक tour मारा इंडिया का. We went to see all the cinemas, we went to see all the people who were supplying materials for gourmet popcorns, and not even the remotest of their thought process they were doing what we wanted to do, right?
Okay.
They were even
Hmm.
close to it. So I think, and then we got some samples from US into India just to just to make it try by friends and family, right? And
Hmm.
suddenly when everybody tried, they said, okay, this is different, this is something they've not tried in India at all. And I think that's
Hmm.
where we found the gap. Okay, let's see if we can make this product or get a franchisee from somebody in US and start this
Hmm.
product. And we explored the franchisee route, and we realized it's too expensive. The consumption model is not as same as in US, so it won't work at that kind of a capex and sales pattern. So that's why we got our hands dirty. We started from scratch, and one day 47 BC was born.
Yay. So this name is very intriguing, and I'm sure you get asked a lot of times. What is the story or the symbolism behind this name?
So we wanted a name which stands internationally and not just in India, right? So we
Mm-hmm.
wanted a name which is easy to register, easy to remember, not easy to remember, but easy to register, easy to trademark anywhere in the world, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so we really wanted a unique name. And while doing a research for brand name, we came across a lot of numeric brand names, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Which we kind of got very fascinated by कि यार on any dish, on any lists, on anywhere the numeric names comes on the top, right?
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
so it has an advantage also, and it has some catchiness because most names are
Hmm.
like alphabets only, but if there's numerics in the name, it has a different catchiness to it, right? People
Hmm.
remember for some reason. So we just liked the idea, and then we started deep diving into the history of popcorns and if there's a number which can really catch hold of, right? So we did a lot of research, and we realized that the oldest evidence of people knowing how to make popcorns dated as back as 4700 BC. And that was
Got it.
a
Okay.
very interesting fact because it is one of the oldest snacks in the world, right?
Hmm.
Because one was naturally popped, right? So you can get a corn cob near to a fire, and popcorn happens, right? So all the other products which we are eating today are largely processed products, right? Whether you take potato chips or anything, right? You have to cut the potatoes, put it into fryer and fry it, right? But
Mm-hmm.
popcorn wasn't as complicated as that, right? So it was very clean, simple product. So I think so we wanted to tell about more about the popcorn as a category, which in India was very limited to cinemas and maybe very limited to rediwalas on the street, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But nowhere people were talking about it, right? It was not a like koi, I didn't find too many people saying aaj hame popcorn khane hai from the market and you can
Hmm.
get it,
Wasn't like
right?
a snack category, yeah.
Wasn't in a snack category and wasn't a very top of a mind kind of a category for in
Hmm.
Indian consumer
Correct.
mind, right? So that's why we thought telling a story about 4700 BC from the scratch, right? Of the popcorn from the scratch, I meant, right? Would make people intrigue about the brand, the category,
Hmm.
and everything, right? And I think that's how people now remember the brand also. Whoever understand the meaning, understand, okay, it's one of the
Yeah.
oldest snack in the world, right?
Yeah.
So I think so. So that was the idea. So when we started our branding and everything was very vintage, very, very telling a story about the product brand, right? So I think that's how uh, we came to that.
The name came.
Yeah.
Alrighty. So we've had the basics. I'm going to take you to the leap part, which is when you told people that you were going to leave Deloitte to sell popcorns. Do you recall what reaction stayed with them, and then how did you shape your conviction around
So
it?
I think for me personally, I think. it was just an experiment to start with, right?
Hmm.
To figure out, we found something interesting. Can we make this, and can we just do it as a side project, and figure it out, right? And slowly and slowly and slowly we got deep dive into it, right? We started spending more time. We started getting closer to the recipe. We started getting a location in the mall. So we got, inch and inch, we got closer and more, deep dive into the whole launch, right? I think on the other side, I think obviously, if you tell somebody, MS guy working in Deloitte selling popcorns, I think it doesn't fly
Yeah.
away with anyone, right? So
Yeah.
it didn't. I think because again, the perception of popcorn in India was very low, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
People never taking this category seriously. So until we actually had the store open, we actually have the product in front of people, the brand coming across. I think until that moment, people could not correlate these two things.
Hmm.
But I think once the store was there, once the product was there, the packaging was out, I think people started believing, this could be a another interesting category in India. And I think that's how
Hmm.
it happened.
Perfect. Um, in those early days, what scared you the most? Failure, judgment, or just not knowing how it's going to work out?
So I think see that's the beauty of starting, I would say early, that you have low risk. You don't have too many things on your mind, right? And I mean, failure is also something you can accept at that time, right? So today, if somebody's in 40s or late 30s, 50s, I think they have a lot of responsibilities which are not there in early 20s, right? I would say.
Hmm.
Yeah, no. So I think that's the time when you don't think too much. You just have a passion, or you just have an idea, and you start working on it, and that's how most of the startups were also born, right? So I think that's the thing. I mean, so I think we were not thinking too much, I would say.
Hmm.
We were just thinking, okay, we got found an idea, let's try, right? As simple as this. And I think that's how I would remember it.
I feel like that's kind of a rarity because not many people think like that. You tend to spiral in your own thoughts even when you're starting or building a brand, and especially you had a history of working with a good company. So one tends to doubt, but you're very clear in heading out and then saying that we were not doubting ourselves, we wanted to give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you will doubt yourself only if you already tried something and you failed, or you have some mixed feelings about it, right? It was a first venture, so nothing to doubt. I think it
Hmm.
was just, let's try.
All right, cool. All right, tell me what's one part of your entrepreneurial journey that the world still hasn't fully understood?
I think I don't give up, right? I
Okay.
think right. So I think the harder the challenge, the more
Hmm.
pumped I am, right?
Hmm.
So I think I've seen, as a brand, we have seen a lot of challenges at every phase, whether it is early stages, whether it is raising funds, whether it is COVID, you know,
Yeah.
and whether people neglecting and rejecting us, saying that this category can never be a big category in India, or you can't do beyond a certain number, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we have seen enough rejections in our life to say, okay, while this is a
Gonna
great
work this out.
product, right? How big can you make this, right? Or how big the brand could be. So I think those all rejections makes you
Stronger.
stronger to prove them wrong, right? And I think brand journey and my journey has been proving people wrong and moving forward, right? So I think I'll continue to do that, but I think it's a story. Once you're successful and once you made it to where you wanted to be, then you can tell people, right? Then now.
Yeah. No, that's inspiring also. I'm sure a lot of people who are going to be watching or listening to this will know that there is this um thing you always need to have, which is never give up. Because if you only give up, then how else it's going to work? Nobody else
Right.
is standing and wants to put it through. Okay, tell me, what did building 4700 BC take away from you personally or emotionally that people don't know from the outside?
Um, so I think obviously it requires a lot of sacrifice, right? So I think initial years, health took a toll, right? Because you were running around, you were not thinking too much, you were in early days, right? So I think obviously health took a toll. Time to family obviously takes a toll, right? So and
Yeah.
And I think personal time also takes a toll, right? If you have
Mm.
some hobbies, I think you have to sacrifice all those things initially. Um,
Yeah.
I think I'm now I can say this. It is, once you get used to what you're doing, once you have better clarity of where it is going, right? I think you start managing your time better. It's not like
Mm.
it's not like what we used to do and what we are doing today is very different, or we are giving less number of hours to the business. I think the mind share and the time share is equally same. But uh, but I think better time management is what's happening today. So we are able to do squeeze those things now better, right? And I think than before. So I would just say I think personal time, uh, you know, uh, I think health definitely would be
Yeah.
one reason, right? And because you're always on the go, you're eating out, you're meeting people, running around. So I think that's take a lot of toll. But I would say as you grow, you get better and better in managing time, right?
Hmm. I think eating out and not giving enough importance to your health would be every founder's story. So, how do you manage to make sure that you're not eating as much outside because you still have to meet a lot of people? So, what are the small steps that one can listen to and improvise on their journey?
No, I think one of the key things which I've learned is, start the day early, do a little bit of workout, whatever routine you want to follow, right? It gets you the right amount of energy you need to kick off your work, right?
Mm.
And maybe a better efficiency because you have the right energy, and you are right, you're in office at the right time, so you are able to take much faster, better decisions, right?
Mm.
So I think that definitely helps, right? I think I've realized if you don't work out, do straight, just wake up,
Yeah,
freshen
yeah,
up, and come to office. I think you take time to get your energy level up in the office. So I
got
think
it.
you're definitely able to do lot more things better. And
Mm.
uh, I think secondly, you start utilizing your small times gaps in a day, right? Which is better. So, for example, finishing your calls or your emails while you're on the way to office, right? You start utilizing your time better,
Yeah.
right? So, whether it's a working lunch, whether it is finishing early and taking calls on the way, right? So I think you
Mm.
start again managing your time much better, I would say, especially the small gaps you never thought is available for you, right? So I think that really helps, right? So I could read my emails and WhatsApp early in the morning and just focus on the day, then browsing through the day. um,
Yeah.
you have team to answer small queries than you used to do yourself. So you
Mm.
focusing on your things better as you grow.
Yeah.
But definitely, I think starting the day right, with right energy,
Workout.
workout, I think definitely helps.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing in such a detailed manner. Now tell us, every founder hits a breaking point. So what was yours and how did you bounce back from it?
Um, so I think I would say, I mean, not such a big points. I think everybody got hit by COVID. I think the business went to zero, especially consumer businesses, right? But I think, I mean, we as founders keep running into issues every day, whether small or big, right? And I think we just have to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, how do we figure this out, right? As you
Yeah.
say, right? I mean, that's the difference between us versus a large company, right? We just find a solution to every problem much faster. Our reaction time is much faster than a larger
Mm.
company, right? A company like an HUL, Pepsi would, probably do thousands of meetings to solve a problem, escalating the whole system. Whereas a startup, young team, we can just solve the problem with quickly and move forward, right? So so the idea is to, just don't look them as a problems or, gaps. Yeah, just look at
Keep
it and
moving.
quickly solve and yeah, keep moving, right? I think as simple as that. I think, I mean, there is no point Obviously we make mistakes, right? And we make much bigger mistakes than anybody else would do, right? Because we are a startup, we don't know every part of the business, right? So, but it's just, you have to realize your mistake fast and just
Yeah.
solve it and move forward, right? As simple.
Mm. Tweak the process and fine tune it and keep moving and steering away.
Yeah.
Okay. Was there ever a time you thought about walking away and then what stopped you? I think I have an answer to this, but I'm still going to ask.
So no, yeah. I mean, I think the journey is still young for
Mm.
us to build this brand, and definitely not thinking about walking away at any point.
Uh,
I think the thought is only how fast we can walk with this brand, right?
mm.
How can we take it faster, faster in the right way to where it needs
Yeah.
to be, right? So I mean, as a brand building process, we don't believe in taking shortcuts. I think we wanted to do things right, and I think that's how good brands are built internationally, right? So do the right things. Once you do the
Mm.
right things, then you can start walking faster. But I think it's just keep focusing what you're doing and do it as quickly as you can. Execution has to be, I think, one of the key missing points in India, which we also need to excel, and people who have excelled have done well, is operations, right? So
Mm.
when you have a great idea of doing something, right, how smartly do you execute operationally is the key, right? So
Mm.
I keep saying this. I think one of the two best companies in India who have done well in last 20-25 years in India are basically one is Indigo and one is DMart, right? And
Okay.
and both of have succeeded because they have understood the Indian market, and second,
Mm.
they operationally outsmarted everybody else, right? They
Mm.
operationally super efficient, right? Super duper efficient, and that's how they are able to outsmart other competitors in the market, right?
Mm.
So you take Indigo, I mean, they're still today they focus in operations, time, right? How fast they can clean the plane, how fast they can put the passengers inside the plane, how fast they can, everything matters for them, and that's their
Yeah.
capability,
Yeah.
right? So I think that is where we need to be, right? For any company or any brand to succeed in India, they have to be executing perfectly or beyond expectation. And we are working towards it. We're not there yet. We try.
Perfect. Okay, we're going to talk about now on the brand's soul, culture, and impact. So, 4700 BC has a certain personality which is fun, modern, and confident. And now, my question is if it were a person, how would you describe it?
If it was a person,
Yeah, how would you describe it?
uh, I think the brand um, is very honest, right? We
Mm.
don't overcome it. We don't undercome it, right? We are there. We are what we say, right?
Mm.
So I think that would be one personality of the person, right? I mean, be honest, be upfront, and no false commitment, not any over commitments also, right? So what you are is what you see, right?
Mm.
Definitely a little upmarket, right? As a person, I would say, because that's how we position the brand, right?
Mm.
Um, because we wanted to be a little more aspirational brand where people look forward to it, and we deliver that value in our product also. So it's not
Mm.
just that we wanted to position high, but we're delivering a same mass value product,
Yeah.
right? So we're actually delivering a premium product also, but we wanted to position that way also, right?
Mm.
And at the same time, people should connect with the brand, right? So I think that's how I will see that person would be, right? Honest, upfront, no overcommitment, and I think
Yeah.
and just being up little more uh, positioned well, right?
Perfect. And how now, everything that you mentioned, how much of you do you see in that personality?
So I don't know, but I would say I think I have grown myself with the brand, right?
Mm.
So it's a journey of the brand and me together, I would say. But I think obviously because we traveled internationally, we lived in US for 5-6 years, so at least we understand the premium product, what a premium
Mm.
consumer wants, what they're looking for. right?
Hmm.
How would this perceive a brand, from a design angle, from a quality angle? So I think those all things is something coming because we are well traveled and we've seen things internationally. I think
Mm-hmm.
that's definitely something
Effective in the
intentionally
brand
coming,
as well.
yeah, from the company. I think positioning automatically, because we've been focusing, like building that the same way that positioning in consumer mind has been built like that, right, over a period of time.
Hmm.
So yeah, I mean, so largely, I think that's one thing which brand could have inherited from me, I would say.
All right, perfect. Chirag, tell us, was there one defining moment when you realized that, wow, the dream is real now? We built something bigger than us.
So I think obviously as a brand, you keep getting accolades along the way, whether it is from a consumer, whether it is from your partners, whether it's from a B2B, whether it's friends, family, anywhere, right? Definitely you get those moments, right? Whether getting into large international airlines, which was a big accolade for us, that okay, we made something which international airlines is acknowledging, right? Or whether getting a feedback from a customer, wow, this is something really nice, one of the
So there
feedback.
have been
Yeah.
many moments, hard to say one.
Yeah, so I mean, one of the best comments I always remember, a customer gave was thanks to coming to India, right? So they were never thought it's an Indian brand, it's an international brand who is just coming to India, right? So obviously these moments makes you feel like okay, you're doing something right, you're on the right track. But I think that Eureka moment stays with you for a couple of hours, 3 hours, and then back to work, and it,
चलो
it
अब
doesn't
आगे
live
बढ़े.
doesn't live longer today, right? There are
Yeah,
more things to solve today than
yeah.
that enjoy that moment. So, but yeah, yeah.
Tell me, what emotion do you want every pack of 4700 BC to give to the person who's holding it?
And I think emotion definitely that you're consuming something nice, right? You've selected a good product, I would say,
Mm.
right? Your choices are good, right? That's the kind of customer should feel about it, that they definitely have a good taste of product or brand or thing. But yeah, I mean, I think um, I would say the best. I mean, I would just give them a thing that they picked the right product, right choice of product.
Okay, great. All right, so we're going to dive into the segment, which is my absolute favorite, which is the human side. So we're going to touch upon fatherhood, speed, and stillness. Here goes the first question. You're someone who loves marathons as well as Formula One, two worlds of speed and endurance. So, how do they reflect your approach to life and business?
So again, I think marathon, and I'm not a great marathoner right now, but I think the only um, reason I'm able to do what I've done is I didn't give up, right? Which is something similar um, to what we're doing at 4700 BC. So I think so marathon definitely gives you that endurance to say, okay, whatever it is, you have to finish it up, right? So I think
Hmm.
that's the kind of journey and experience I had
Yeah.
doing marathons, which I can connect with 47 BC. Formula One, I think, um, I mean, it's just my love for cars and speed, which is translated into my love into Formula One, right? I would say that more than brand. I
Hmm. Does that
definitely
factor into your brand building like anywhere? The speed, decision making, anything that revolves around? Maybe the reaction time is quick.
would definitely say again, um, it's a sports where every second matters, every
Hmm.
millisecond actually matters. Uh, but it's not something directly translates into what we are doing. Obviously, as a startup, everybody is doing, quick decision making. But I think Formula One is would be just my personal love for cars and speed, right?
Okay, great. Okay, tell us, how has fatherhood changed the way you lead, decide, and even rest?
So I think no, I think as kids, your parents are everything for you, right? And and vice versa, right? But the way the kids look up to their parents is something, very, very pure, very straightforward, no complications, right? Which is what you need in a relationship, right?
Mm,
So I think that's the purest and straightforward, relationship you can ever have in your life, right? And I think that you can only get from your kids, basically,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So I would say, I mean, that's just something you look forward to whenever you going through a good or bad times, right? As simple as this, right? So even if you're going through a bad time, you just, be with them and you forget a lot of those things, right?
Mm,
And even if you're going to a good time, I think you would like to spend the time with them only, right? So
mm,
I think that's the beauty of that relationship.
mm. Okay, so when your daughter Aura grows up and learns this story, what do you hope she understands about why you chose the life of entrepreneurship?
No, I think as simple as this, your father wants to try different things. He doesn't give up. Neither she should, right? And I think um, it's. I think the one thing she should learn is obviously taking on challenges and doing it, right? As
Yeah.
simple as this, right? So whether it's a marathon, whether it's starting a business, I think taking up new challenges and just going for it, right? So
Hmm.
she should be the one who's, figuring out new challenges in her life and just going about it, solving it.
And is it also something that you want her not to inherit from this hustle?
Everything else. No, but yeah, obviously, like we complained, right? Time,
Yeah.
health, all those things, right? So I think, so obviously she should learn to do this thing better, early,
Yeah.
faster than we have done. But
Hmm.
I think that's challenges is what she should take it out of this, right?
Hmm. All right, Chirag. So entrepreneurship is loud on the outside, but what does the silence sound like for you?
I think good 12 hours of sleep whenever you can get it. Like
Hmm.
just get into your zone, not think too much about it. But I think if uh, uh, you know, for me, if I'm able to get a good sleep in the afternoon, that's like the best moment of my week, right? But yeah, I think definitely spending time with family and your own uh, good sound sleep, right?
Hmm. Now, you already mentioned about sleep, but my next question is when it all feels too much, like the pressure or the pace, where do you find balance?
Again, I think sleep and I think I do a little bit of stress eating, I would say.
Okay.
So not stress eating, but it's like just going out, trying something different, which
Yeah.
takes it off from your mind, right?
Hmm.
And then you get full and then go back to sleep, right? As simple as that. And the next day is a new day, right? So yeah. But yeah, I think good sleep, good food, and that's it.
That's it. Okay, tell us what keeps you grounded when the world only sees the wins.
No, I think it's your own personal goals, right? So if you know where you want to go and it's still long way from what you vision it, right? So I think
Hmm.
you stay grounded, right? I mean, you know your goals, right? If I'm satisfied to what I'm doing today,
Yeah.
right? Maybe I'll enjoy those wins, right? And then just stay there and enjoy the moment. But if I know, okay, I still have a lot to do, right, to take it to where I can now think it can go, and
Hmm.
have that responsibility, you have to stay grounded. Maybe you enjoy for a day, but rest of the month, days, you have to stay grounded and figure it out, right? So I think, and obviously you have so much work responsibility to keep you grounded, right? So you're responsible for all your employees now. You're responsible for such a company to run, right? So I think you have to stay grounded to be there.
Hmm. Alrighty, we've come towards the last segment of the whole recording. So, my first question for you is when people think of 4700 BC years from now, what do you want them to feel? Not about the product, but about the man behind it.
So I think it's a it's a journey, right? So when you do a startup, the founder takes the limelight, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Once it becomes a successful brand, people just know the brand, right? The
Yeah.
brand is much bigger than the founder, right? So
Mm-hmm.
today there are a lot of brands who have become so big that you don't know the story behind the how the company was built, right? Just people just know it, right? The next generation would not know uh, the founders of this generation, right? For example, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, right. So they will hear about the founders of the next generation, right? I would say, but
Mm-hmm.
how many people would know how KFC stores have opened? Who's the man behind it, right? Obviously,
Yeah,
know
yeah.
some part of it, we know, but does everybody know, right? So I think once
Mm-hmm.
the brand becomes larger, uh, big
Then
enough,
it's
I
a
think
brand.
yeah, it's just about the brand, right? So I
Yeah.
think that if the brand is perceived in the right way, it is at the right position. I think definitely, and I wanted to be like that, right? I mean, I nothing to yeah. So I think it's as simple as that.
Okay, great. All right, tell us, what does living unapologetically mean to you today in the way you work, lead, and love? Has the definition changed over the years?
No, yeah, I think it's a very straightforward thinking. Obviously, when you eat, obviously, you have to take care of your body. It's not how it
Mm-hmm.
is in 20s, right? So you have to be a little more, you know,
Cautious and
right? So same way, I think you have to take care of your time better. You have to take care of your health better. You have to take care of. So these are the things where you have to, change from where you were 20 years back to today and probably next 20 years. Uh,
mm-hmm.
yes, so those are the things you have to be, you know, uh, move on kind of a thing, right?
Okay, last question. And you have to fill in the blank for this. This is our signature question, which is I, Chirag Gupta, am unapologetic about what? Say it from your gut.
Okay. Um, I am Chirag Gupta and I'm unapologetic about things I'm about to do in career.
Well, Chirag, this was nice. Thank you for your time, and we've had a lot of fun. I made a lot of mental notes, learned a lot from you, and I'm sure all our viewers and people who are going to be listening or watching the episode will also draw a lot of learnings along the way. How did you feel about this episode?
No, no, good. Yeah, I think question straight out of heart and straight out of which any people wants to hear. Also, I would say, but it's good to have a founder story being told, uh, you know, in a new way, right? And I hope your viewers will take something out of this, right? At least from my story. But yeah, good luck to you.
Thank you. There's something poetic about popcorn. It begins as something small, ordinary, and under a bit of heat, it transforms. That's what Chirag Gupta reminds us of, that the pressure doesn't just test you, it reveals you what you're truly made of. He didn't just build a snacking empire, he redefined what bold looks like in business, and he did it with curiosity, endurance, and a kind of joy that refuses to play small. From Deloitte to daring, from data to dreams, his journey is a proof that you can build something iconic and lead with heart, humility, and humor. Because being unapologetic isn't about noise, it's about knowing your truth and standing by it and showing up for it every single day, even when no one's watching. So, Chirag, thank you for showing us that courage can taste like caramel and grit can wear a smile, and that the most meaningful empires are the ones which are built from love and not logic.
Thank you.